Whew. Whew, whew, whew. Before I introduce this woman, we've connected a couple of times. We just went through a process. Wow, over the weekend with a good mentor and great friend of both of ours, Cody, we love you.
Cody, we love you.
And phenomenal, like to see someone, and obviously not just you and me, but everyone in the room, just really going there. Like the dark night of the soul to do the work. For anyone that's done any inner work, any healing work, it can be messy, it can be teary, it can be emotional, there can be screaming, there can be the fight, as Cody said, the fight. And it was just beautiful. So to have an experience with someone like that, you don't really have too many of those. So
and the depth and the vulnerability and the seeing.
Yes. And the being scene as well.
And the being scene, yeah.
So, with that being said, Natalie Paterson, a serial entrepreneur, has made 7 figures in her second year of business because she is a money magnet.
Yes!
Cool. She has coached over 220 people and is leading the way of spirituality. Natalie has just created a new modality that allows people to unlock their soul gifts and flow with ease and abundance, which we will certainly be leaning into today. How are you today?
Thanks, babe. Thank you so much for having me here. I so deeply appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So, tell me, firstly, how are you?
I'm fucking amazing. As you mentioned before, we just did a 3-day big transformation event. Yeah. And so, like we were mentioning just before this podcast, guys, is that the depth of worthiness that I have felt in this past 4 days. Yes.
So it's Thursday today, and we did the process Saturday night.
Yeah. So 4 or 5 days is just, it's a new level. It's a new revealing of who I truly am at like a deeper core level of my authenticity. Yes. And just like waking up feeling so aligned and waking up with so much grace and so much ease. And my client sessions have been better this week. I feel better. Like everything's just like this new level. Yeah,
new paradigm.
So I feel great.
New reality.
Thank you.
Before we get into so many rabbit holes with you, what's your story? I know you gave me a little bit of it when we caught up. Well, I jumped on your podcast last week.
Last week. We seen each other heaps, babe.
It's all happening.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, tell me a little bit like your story. Who is Natalie? Where's she come from? And how is she doing what she does now?
Thank you. So I am a country girl from New Zealand. So born and bred on a farm. We had 38 cats. Very true story, guys. It's a weird rabbit.
Legit. You were born a crazy cat lady. You didn't become one. You were born.
I was born one day. We had 100 ducks, 100 chickens. It was absolutely everything that you could imagine in terms of animals. I then moved on a dance scholarship to Australia when I was 15 years old. I was a professional dancer, and my brother and I... we were elite. We were training, before school, after school, so many hours. And now knowing, I had this realization yesterday, this epiphany yesterday, that every single time I was on stage for years, I was on stage dancing. That was all reps to get me to being a speaker. It's just reps to now being a speaker and helping humanity. It's yesterday I was driving and I was like, that was why I was on stage for so many years. And I had, for such a long time, I had shame. I stopped dancing when I was about 18, 19. And I had all the shame come up for years that I didn't continue dancing. And so how everything kind of twisted and turned for me was when I was 17 years old, my auntie passed away in a sudden car accident. And that just threw my whole family. From there, what happened was my grandfather then got cancer and passed away. Same side, and then on the same side my dad got cancer. So all within about a space of 6 months, and I had no idea how to comprehend those sort of emotions that were running through my body. And my family and I, we all tried to just make it normal. So we were all just like, yeah, we're fine. However, the suppression got deeper and deeper and deeper. And so I was experiencing, underlying anxiety and depression for many years. And I took to taking party drugs. I was just out taking a couple of pills, couple of lines, and didn't really think anything of it until about 2 years into it, I was introduced to ice. where I became an ice addict. And I was an ice addict for about 2 years, and I was very, very, very deep in. I then attempted suicide. I was totally in so much shame and so much guilt that I didn't want to be here. I didn't feel worthy of being here. And knew I had put my family through so much pain that I was like, there's no point in being here. And so I then I ended up getting myself clean. It did take several goes to get myself off it. And I'm so grateful for my family for just being consistent. Like, it's really sticking by me. From there, what happened was I then fell into a binge eating disorder, which I battled for many years. A lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and I was always this big extroverted character, and I never let someone see the other side of me. So I had all this I had almost like these two characters that I was always putting on. This big chauvinistic, like, I'm Nat, I'm great, yeah. And then in the background, I was like, oh, fuck, you know. And I did this for years until I was beautifully led into meditation. So at about 22 years old, I'm 29 now. At 22 years old, I was led into meditation by one of my clients, and I'm so fucking grateful for her. She took me to a kirtan class. Do you know what kirtan is?
When we caught up the other day, but I wouldn't be able to teach it, so refresh.
I'll tell everyone.
Yep.
Everyone listening, go to kirtan. It's amazing. So she takes me to this little dingy kind of hall, right? And all these weird spiritual people, by the way, guys. I'm like hardcore Matrix in Melbourne at this point. Like doled up to the nines, go to this like little dingy spiritual place where everyone has crystals and they're burning something. I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? It's sage. I'm like, what the fuck? I walk in and everyone's hugging me, and I'm like looking me in the eyes, and I'm like, well, don't look me in the eyes, man. Like, fucking, that's too deep.
Wouldn't make eye contact back then?
Nah, I would, but I was just a bit like, hi. Yeah. It wasn't the depth that me and you can just stare into each other's souls for fucking hours now, right? And what ended up happening was they started singing Hare Krishna, Krishna na Hare na Krishna, and my soul just started bursting. And I remember this cracking open of my heart of like tears streaming down my face of just like feeling love and connection and gratitude. And I'm like, what is this place? Like, they've taken me to Narnia, you know? I'm like, I've walked through the wardrobe, and I'm like, fuck, what is this place? So I started going to kirtan. I didn't tell anyone. And I was going to kirtan for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I started meditating, and I started listening to waterfall sounds. And like, this is stuff that was so out of the ordinary from my friends. And slowly but surely, I'd always seen psychics because I was always really curious to want to speak to my auntie. And at this point, when I started meditating, I remember watching videos on YouTube of like connecting to your spirit guides and connecting to spirits and connecting to ghosts. And then I was like, oh, well, I've only seen paranormal activity at this point, and that's pretty fucking weird and pretty fucking scary. So I was kind of programmed by fear, right? And then I remember thinking, well, actually, when I was 17 years old, when my auntie died, a psychic said to me, by the time you're 32, you'll own a really successful spiritual business and you'll be like world known. And it was almost like a little seed was planted in my heart. And it kind of gave me that faith, like maybe I could do something spiritual. And I was thinking 32 is so far away. I was 22 at that point. I was like, 10 years away. It's so long. It's just so long away. And I just started getting really into spiritual development. I really, really wanted to be psychic. So I started learning and researching and reading books and listening to, back then there were no real podcasts. It was more just YouTube. I was listening to every fucking YouTuber that would talk about spirituality. I was going through rabbit holes. And
whose rabbit holes did you jump into?
Victor Otto was one of him. I really loved his stuff. There's another guy. He's really successful. He's got He's got like long hair. He's really attractive.
Is it me?
Yeah, babe, it's you. Yeah, it's definitely you. I can't remember his name. I got into Dolores Cannon. This is when I first started working with Louise Hay's work.
Got a book just so.
Yeah, and like going deeper into like Les Brown's work and like all these different people that I started researching, and then lots of random girls who I can't even remember their names right now, that were about light language and about dragons and about all like realms and dimensions. And I was like, what the fuck? This world makes so much sense. And I remember watching a video about Oprah. Oprah was talking to these little girls and they could remember their past lives. And I was like, this He's fucking cool. And then I started to get into Stephen Greer, and I was like rabbit holed Stephen Greer's alien stuff for fucking weeks. Yeah. Then during COVID, my spirit guides were like, you need to move to the Gold Coast. And I was like, what the fuck? We're in we're in a hardcore lockdown. It's 8 p.m. I'm in Melbourne. So first things first was I got on the next plane, followed my spirit guides, started speaking to spirit guides at this point, flew to the Gold Coast. I started living with these real spiritual hippies, and they taught me all about like really deep conspiracies. We started talking, about philosophies of the world and about how the universe works, and like just deeper knowledge than what I'd already kind of educated myself on. And I was like, wow, I could really do something here. And then they were like, maybe you should go to Toastmasters and you should learn about NLP and all these little pieces. They kind of like gave me as little breadcrumbs to just keep following, right? And so I went back down to Melbourne. I sold my lash business. I sold my car. I sold my furniture, and I moved to the Gold Coast. And I kind of did nothing for about 6 months of unsure of what I wanted to do. And my bank account went depleted. And I ended up being like actually poor for the first time in my life. Like my lash business always did really well. Before that, I had awesome, really, really cool career in recruitment. And then obviously, even while I was a drug addict, I still held a career, and then, did some other things on the side. And it was at that point where I was moved up here. I was 27, and I was like, what do I want to do? Universe, show me a sign. Yeah. So I go to Kirtan again. I'm up here. I'm singing Hare Krishna on the Gold Coast. And I sit next to this lady who just so happened to own an NLP school. So I went and did NLP, and I became a coach. So last year on the 11th of the 1st, 111, because I'm spiritual babes, I ended up starting a business to help people through their spiritual awakening and to help people out of trauma. So last year I helped 70 people get out of anxiety and depression. I have such a great recipe that breaks people through a system in 8 weeks. Beautiful. It's so incredibly transformational. And at the end of the year of last year, everyone started asking me, how are you doing so well? Like, how are you doing so well? A lot of people that I'd done NLP with, and a lot of people that I'd done coaching, mentoring with in different circles and stuff were asking me like, how are you killing it, Nat? And I was like, oh, my spirit guides told me to do this formula. My spirit guides told me to do this funnel system. My spirit guides told me to do this content. My spirit guides. And they were like, can you teach me spirit guides? And I was like, well, of course I can. Yeah. It's so easy. Yeah. It took me 4 years to learn this, but let me teach you in 1 hour, and then, sure enough, I just started teaching the energetics of business. And I thought that everyone prayed and connected to spirit, and I thought everyone was, connecting to people's higher selves before working with them. I just thought that was like, it's now my normal, such my normal, that I just thought every other coach was doing this. And then I was like, oh, no one's teaching energetics. I was like, I suppose I could own this space here, Lewis. I was like, I'll give this a crack. So at the start of the year, I started, teaching business owners how to actually, create both worlds of strategy, system, structure, sales with energetics, woo-woo, psychic development, past life progression, ancestral healings, and just like collapse time and just bring them both together. And so I've had some amazing success. As you know, I've just reached $1 million in sales in my second year.
Celebrate that, baby. Thanks, how's that feel?
It feels so incredibly amazing. Like I was so blown away. Last week on Tuesday or Wednesday when it actually happened, and I looked at my sales tracker and I was like, I've done $1 million in sales in this year, just this year. And I'm like, fuck, I've done it. And I made a commitment to myself in December of last year that next year I was going to be a millionaire. And I did know the how. I mapped it out. I mapped several different business plans and strategies out. And then what I committed to was really rewiring myself. So every single day, looking in the mirror, looking into my left eye, breathing deeply and just saying, I'm a millionaire. And I just recoded and rewired myself. I have alarms on my phone every 2 hours, back screen on my phone. I've got literally, when you come to my house, this is an invitation. When you come to my house, my darling.
We're going on a boat party this weekend as well.
Boat party. Oh yeah, guys, I'm hiring a yacht. Yeah. I'm hiring a yacht for all my fucking favorite humans. One day when our little dogs have a play date,
sausage. I got a mushroom there. Georgia got me that the other day.
I did actually. It was one of the first things I saw when I got in here.
Psychedelics.
It's so cool. I love it. We could talk about that too. We could go through some rabbit holes, you and I. So yeah, I've got all these signs all over my house saying I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. So I've just been recoding and rewiring myself like all year. Plus then I really, decided I would actually listen to fucking Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and all these people, all these big, successful millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires even, that actually speak about you are who you surround yourself with. So I just made it my mission this year that the people that I did spend my spare time with were going to be really quality people. And not only that, I did commit that this year, and I hate actually promoting hustle culture. However, this is just the truth for myself. I dedicated and said to myself, 2023, I am going to hustle. I am going to hustle, build the foundations, build the team, build the systems, build the accountability, build the ecosystem of a really foundational business that can get me to 2, 4, 5, 10 mil. And I've really fucking put the systems and the work in this year so that next year I can have a little bit more leisure. Yeah. So I really have, like, when people, I feel as if a few people have said to me, oh, it's been so easy, Nat, like, so great that you've done this. I'm like, I fucking worked my ass off to get here. Yeah. And though, then it's funny, then a lot of other people have messaged me being like, oh, you've worked really hard. And then I'm like, I actually don't want to also, I don't want to promote having to work hard to make a lot of money. Yeah. However, I do believe that there is this startup phase. Yeah. And I mean, you probably found that when you were doing the gyms. Yeah. Like there's a period of time which you probably have to sacrifice in order for you to get to that next level. Then the next level, I feel like you could probably breathe again. Yeah. Then you want to go it again. All right, it's another piece of sacrifice. I feel like now I know the process. It's just another leveling up. So yeah, last week when I did make the million, I was relieved. I was grateful. I was so grateful. And I was in this gratitude of like, I've done it. Like, it's like I've climbed Mount Everest and I've gotten to the top and I can just sit there and be like, I'm on top of the mountain. I've done it. Because it's been a goal that I've been really, truly striving towards day in, day out for 365 fucking days, babe. Yeah. So it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So so much wisdom, so many facets to who you are. The business, the spiritual, the woo-woo, the openness, which is something I'm really, really loving seeing you. I know we've only really connected recently, but I would like to go there as well.
Let's go there, babe.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Let's go all in.
You mentioned it a couple times, just the worthiness piece of yourself, and not just yourself, because obviously that you're a vessel and a mirror for so many people, especially women, and men and women, but women especially from a society that it's like men, again, obviously generalizing everyone, so don't get triggered too much, but men...
Don't get triggered.
Don't get triggered. Men generally, like, the sort of measuring stick of their success is their bank account, their car, whatever it may be. And women, again, a lot of the time, it's like they have to be pretty, they have to be well put together, they have to always show the good side of them and sort of hide and suppress the other side of who they are. So something that I really admire about you and something that inspires me about you is your ability to go there. Obviously, we had that experience over the weekend, and
thank you.
I'd love to hear your experience of actually. My last sort of framing on this is, whenever you have a limiting belief or a wound or a trauma or something in you that's not congruent, there's the passive or the active expression of what that is. So say someone believes they're not worthy because their parents, their upbringing, or whatever's happened. If you're passive with that, you become unworthy, you become the underachiever, you don't put yourself out there, you don't want to do anything, and you just sort of play small. And then some people, and this is actually the people that I'm starting to attract that I get to work with and help, is they become the active expression, which is they try to achieve so many things to compensate, to prove to the world and themselves that they are worthy, because deep down they believe that they're not. And you've mentioned the word worthiness, and obviously with what you do and the achievements you're doing, you're making money, you're making impact. What's that journey been like with you to really work on your own worthiness and being able to actually heal that part of you, integrate that part of you? I guess whatever words resonate with you. What's that journey been like for you?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. So, it's been like, when I say it's been fucking challenging, I feel as if the word worthiness has been like my is kryptonite the right language here? Like, kryptonite is like the word.
Your Achilles heel, your
it's like that. It's like it's so far away, and all I've wanted to do was have it. And I've really struggled with the worthiness piece for basically my whole life until really, working with this new current mentor. I've got 4 mentors at the moment, and they all do something different. They're all experts in different ways. And I've done a lot of journeying and a lot of self-development and a lot of reprogramming on specifically the word worthiness. And I like to call what you were talking about before the high achiever. Yeah. So, I've been playing this mask of the high achiever for such a long time because I had to show off to everyone that I can actually do these things. Because the shadow aspect was like, I felt so unworthy. And, when I first started doing NLP a few years ago, that was kind of the first time I'd really started integrating actually being worthy or feeling worthy. And even like in my past relationships, the men that I was, sorry to any ex-boyfriends that probably don't listen to myself anyway, but, I was choosing people that I felt better than so that I could feel worthy. And I felt like I never found a partner that I felt fully worthy to be around myself, like to be myself around. And that was like, this is such a fucking deep journey. It's like, I'm just trying to think about where I take this. So in business, the one of the core reasons I was like growing my whole business was because I really, really wanted to hear from my sister the words, "I'm proud of you." So I wanted her, like, external worthiness from her. And I wanted to prove to, the people that I'd done drugs with and the drug addict version of myself that I could actually do something and achieve something and help other humans. And I had this people pleaser rescuing masks that I also used to play a lot. And I feel as if a lot of coaches also have that of like, we want to actually help. We really want to help other people. We want to help other people. But I was doing this from a place of like, I wanted to help other people because I actually wanted to help myself. Yeah. And when I really flipped that and actually started journeying that deeper of like, okay, it's actually me who has to do the deeper work. So just the last couple of years, I've been like investment. I'm like, how can I work on myself more? What other healing do I need? I'm broken. And I didn't realize I was actually running the story of I'm broken. Yeah. Fuck, that landed. Yeah. I think it was about September last year when I had a mentor say to me, "You're not broken. You perceiving that you're broken is what's keeping you small." And I was like, and I was like, how do I just do I am affirmations in the mirror saying I'm not fucking broken? Like, what is the piece there? So the piece there that I really journeyed was actually sitting with the parts of myself that didn't feel worthy. So like meeting different versions of myself. And I like to do this process, guys, and you can do this process from wherever you are, is, you just sit with yourself comfortably, breathing really deeply into your nervous system. And I always love to see 10 golden stairs going up into the universe and opening a door into a safe place or into a sanctuary where you feel calm, relaxed, safe, and just inviting the parts of you, the shadows of you, to come forward and to just sit with them and ask them, what do they need from you? How can you be of service to them? What is it that, be curious, be inquisitive, like why are they coming up? What do they want to be? How do they want to be expressed? And then whether that's through movement or whether that's through journaling, whether that's through screaming practices, like whatever the practice or the process is, actually doing it and not just saying you're doing it. Because that was me for a long time. I was just dabbling of like, oh yeah, I'm doing the work. Yeah. Like going to getting a healing or going to see someone or talking through my emotions, opposed to actually doing a process and moving it through my body or moving it, really, really moving it out of the unconscious mind. And through journeying this for months, probably from September and I did go through a really big breakup last year, and that was a really reclaiming of my worthiness. So in the past I had and it was a story that I ran, guys, every single partner has always cheated on me. And so I was very hesitant to want to get into a relationship before meeting this man. I was single for 4 years. I was very like, I don't want men, I hate men, like very anti-men. And although I had a lot of really beautiful guy mates, we just didn't feel really that worthiness to be there. And then my ex-boyfriend did actually also cheat on me. Yeah. And opposed to me thinking or wronging myself that they cheated on me this time, I actually claimed my power back. And I was like, I love you, and this is clearly not working. I'm claiming myself. Goodbye. And that was so huge for me. That was like a claiming of my worthiness of like, actually, I'm so fucking worthy. I am enough on my own, and I do not need someone to disrespect me, and I don't even need to re-question this. Like, I am powerful, and if you do not see my worth, goodbye. And so that was a real claiming. And so I honestly am so grateful for him for playing that role in my life for me to be able to claim myself. Like, so beautiful, right? And then this year it's been like, all right, I have this level of worthiness. However, it's still this like extroverted, this like, I'm almost like a need of wanting to help people. So it's almost, it comes from like that scarcity thing, right? Like I need to help people. I need to be something. I need to do this. I need to be Natalie Paterson. Like it almost comes from this like, like almost a little bit ungrounded. And over the last few months, it's just like really, you know what it was?
What was it?
The catalyst, Lewis. The catalyst was, for such a long time, I was like, I'm in my masculine. I almost was like showing off that I was in my masculine, right? And about 3 or 4 months ago, I met a really masculine man, and he almost forced me into the feminine, which was beautiful. And I'm so grateful for that. And in the initiation of stepping into the feminine, I got to relax into who I am. And then it was like oh, this is who I really am, of like, I'm actually feminine and I'm actually masculine, and I can integrate both. And that actually makes me whole and complete. And then I'm like, oh, okay, then I am really worthy. Okay. And then journeying the last couple of months with this, guys, Cody McAuliffe, he is such an amazing, profound method. You know, if you've done John DeMartini's work, so the John DeMartini method, Cody has his own method, which is called holographics. Yeah. And this holographics process I've now done 4 times. And what this does is it literally rebalances kind of like all your timelines, and all little puzzle pieces kind of all formulate into the one. Yeah. And through that process, I've been able to really uncover who I am at my core essence, and just really feel and sit into being worthy, and not having to do things out of a need, more so doing things of a love and a passion and a knowing. And so, it's been a wild ride of doing this self-development and the transformation work, having the business mentors, also reclaiming my power and my codes of what I'm here to bring into the earth. I've just birthed a modality that will shift the earth's frequency and consciousness. And, you know, if I didn't get to this level of awareness and love and worthiness in my body, I wouldn't have been able to hold the light and the knowledge, like the years of wisdom and knowledge and of all my past lives to come into here and into this lifetime to then be able to educate and help the world with this. So, yes, hope that makes sense to you.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm picking up. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. I'd like to use that as a segue into giving back to humanity. I'd like to know, what's your gift for humanity, and how you're going to give that gift to humanity.
I love that. So one thing that I uncovered over the weekend was that I am the gift. And being able to own that and claim that without feeling weird in my body. In the past, I used to say, I'm the fucking gift, and didn't really feel it. Like it was like 80% I felt it, 20% didn't really feel it. But now it's just like my transmission, the light codes that I have,
essence.
My essence.
Cody essence.
The essence that I am by just being all of me is so transferable to other humans. So I channel this beautiful thing called light language, which
go
is
into that.
Yeah, which is the highest frequency a human being can actually truly radiate at. Yeah. You know, on the scale of vibration, right? If we go through light language, like light language can't even be on scale. The frequency is so high through the human vessel, and so through light language, you know, we can do different healings on people. We can see into people's past lives. We can see into people's future lives. Like the frequency is so literally tapped into source's energy. It's almost like I believe that language is the language of source. And so when I channel that, and for such a long time I've been channeling it and not knowing how to really cultivate that or turn that into anything other than me raising my vibration. And obviously when you raise your vibration, you get access to more things. And over the last year, my spirit guides have been saying, channeling school or light language school, and it keeps just kind of coming into my awareness. Yeah. However, I hadn't really known what to do with it. And about 4 months ago, I started having these dreams where I was pregnant. I started holding my vagina, started holding my belly, and I'm like, am I pregnant? I'm like, can't be pregnant. I haven't had sex, guys, for a wee while. I'm like, I can't be pregnant. What's going on, right? And then I realized that I'm birthing something big. And I started working with this beautiful spiritual mentor at the time, where she was like, babe, you are birthing something big here. And then I got it, and I got it in my heart, and I started crying, and I was like, I am going to hold the most comprehensive light language modality in the world. And it's never really been done before. The method that I have will activate everyone into the fifth dimension. And when we get activated into the fifth dimension, we get everything we want. We get the abundance, we get the love, we get the openness, we get the soul gifts, we get the psychic development, we get all of it is encompassed in one. And so this light language modality that I've just created, I believe it will change the world. And I believe that is my gift to humanity, by me being able to hold humanity in that and elevate the Earth's consciousness to the fifth dimension, which is my bigger, deeper mission.
Can you go into fifth dimension just to clarify for our not as enlightened people, or people that are
our woo-woo people
trying to keep up with your woo-woo level?
Yes, cool.
Yeah, can you just define the fifth dimension then?
Absolutely. So the third dimension is what we're currently in. We're in the third dimension. We're on Earth, and there's matter. Like this is hard. This is like we've got physical matter. Yeah. The fifth dimension is what we can see beyond the veil. Yeah. So when we go into meditation and we start to see colors, or when we start to feel things, or when we start to be intuitive or inquisitive, that isn't necessarily like a physical matter. Yeah. That is actually the fifth dimension. And so for those of you who do meditate, when you meditate and you're being told to see beautiful cosmic light coming down upon you, that there, by just visualizing, is actually the fifth dimension. So
it's like beyond the senses.
It's beyond the senses, yeah. And it's just being able to really tap into your imagination, which we all have access to. We just forget in the third dimension. Like, I don't know about you, but for me, like when I was a little kid, I had so much imagination, like such a big imagination. Then by the time I'm 7, 8 years, 9 years old, when we start to get fully conditioned and programmed, we stop that. The pineal gland, there's been so much research that's now shown that the pineal gland starts to get hardened by 7 years old. Guys, like brain sits here, the pineal gland sits here, and the pineal gland allows us to access the fifth dimension, or it allows us to see beyond time, space, of what we're actually truly here to do or be or whatever. And there's been, again, so much research to say that, but by 7 years old, it starts to get calcified. Yeah, wow. And so
I've heard through Joe Dispenza, how he's got those crystals on the outside of the pineal gland, and by activating it through meditation, through breath work, through psychedelics. That's the cheap, the easy way to do it. It activates it, which then sort of induces those spiritual sort of out of body experiences. But I hadn't heard that by it hardens and it sort of gets stiffer.
The word it specifically is calcifies. It starts to get it's because it's same size as a pea. It's so tiny. It starts to get actually hardened based on the density of the programming that we have. Wow. So then what happens is, and this is the whole reason of the Matrix, right? Yeah. So Matrix knows, the guys who are running the fucking world that want to keep the Earth in a third dimensional grid, they know through frequency, through bad water, through MSG, through all of the bullshit from the programming, they know that they can calcify it because it's so sensitive to light and to frequency and vibration. Frequency and vibration mostly, like. I think Hitler was one of the first people that started to lower the vibration of music around. And now, most of the stuff on the radio is also that lower frequency that actually calcifies the third eye. So we know. So the programming really stops at about 7. So it's not until we do the inner work that we actually start to uncalcify it, and it starts to starts to melt, I suppose, and we start to have this opening and this awakening of us actually truly coming into what we're truly here to do. And so for me, when I started meditating around 22, 23, 24, and I started getting really deep into the self-development journey, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, that's when my third eye started to fucking pop. And I started having all these experiences. And so for me, one of the first things I do is I teach people when I first start working with them, I'm like, you must only be drinking filtered water. You must only be listening to things that are actually good for the body and the senses and the mind. You know, anything that's horror related or bad vibration, like stop. Like literally shut it out of your reality. You do not need this. And so, so the matrix obviously keeps people into the third dimensional grid. So the fifth dimensional grid is by us just being able to express love, express joy, meditation, coming back to ourselves, doing the inner work, journaling, like all the stuff that you and I both teach, right? It's just more holistic living. Holistic living.
I want to share an analogy which might resonate because I got a follow-up question for your light. Is it, what do you call it? Light codes. Light codes. Okay.
Yes.
I use the analogy with psychedelics. So for anyone watching the video, there's a mushroom in the background, and that's psychedelics, and hence why I like the consciousness with Elon Musk smoking a joint and it goes up there. But anyway, so the analogy that I've made this one, so I'm coining this one. It's like you've got a phone. Like we've got a phone here. If we were to plug this phone into like the whole amount of electricity in this house, it would blow the phone up, right?
Yeah.
So we have a charging point, which is a reducer, which reduces the amount of electricity that goes into the phone.
Right.
We have that in levels of consciousness our mind can take in.
Yes.
And so when you induce a psychedelic into it, it's like you blow the resistor out, and then you just have these insane downloads.
Yes.
And you can achieve similar things through meditation, through breath work, and potentially through light codes.
Yes.
Is that along those lines?
Yep. So like, yes. So light codes literally is a method that I've created to teach people how to actually go on spaceships, to teach people how to tap into past lives and future lives, and to allow people to actually access their soul gifts. So it's like really, it's kind of like, it's going to be like a mushroom trip just in Natalie's room.
Wow.
So it's a 3-day in-person training where I'm going to literally levitate fucking people to the next reality. Fucking cool, eh?
Fucking love it. And if you can give us,
thanks, mate.
without giving us the full experience, what's that like for people that are listening who might not be able to
cool. So
attend it? What's it like?
So the 3 days itself, the first day is all going to be clearing the vessel. So it's like, for us to be able to reach levels of consciousness, we need to be able to really ensure that we have a clear vessel. So first day is going to be all hardcore transformation work, screaming, crying, yelling in people's faces. No, not that hardcore, but like hardcore transformation work, right? And then the second day will be learning the light code method that actually activates people into the fifth dimension.
Is that through, so if we can circle in on that, is that through breathing? Is that through visualizing? Is that through integrating? Is that through like...
It's a bit of everything. So it's visualization, it's healing, it's me actually activating them in room. So it is an in-person event because I will be tapping people, touching people. And there will definitely be a way of saying, I am touching you, sign here. It's through lots of activations of being able to access. So basically what happens when I channel light language, what I'm doing is I'm activating the dormant codes from within the person. So we've got all these subatomic particles that are running around our body. Subatomic particles, like what they do is they vibrate at a certain frequency to then be able to activate. And so my intention is to be able to activate the dormant codes or the subatomic particles that are not necessarily moving that quickly to raise their vibration so much that they'll be able to access the light language. So I'll be teaching people channeling, and then I'll be teaching psychic development, past life regression, and then teaching them. So they'll actually be a light code practitioner trainer, which is really cool. And so basically what that means is that they can do light language healings on other people. And then they can also do past life regressions and future psychic readings for them as well.
That's powerful.
So so in the 3-day training, they basically get a business in a box, which is really fucking
fucking cool.
So much like Dolores Cannon, who I'm really trying to model, she created this modality called QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, which is where she teaches people to tap into other people's past lives. And, then she became a world-renowned speaker and author. And my 5-year goal is to be able to have a method that is so world class, so well known that people are like, oh, I'm a light code practitioner. Oh, I'm a light code practitioner. Oh, I'm a light code practitioner. It's Natalie Paterson's method. So that's the big vision. That's what I'm calling in. And it's almost just like a knowing that I now just need to follow this beautiful path that I chose to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to be going? Because when's the first event? Sorry?
First event is 18th, 19th, 20th of Jan.
Fantastic. So coming up. About a month.
Pretty much a month. A month. If anyone wants to come.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I didn't mean to sell here, but...
No, please, plug away.
Thank you. Guys, come. If anyone wants to come, it's...
Gold Coast, right?
Gold Coast, yeah. You can just DM me, yeah.
DM her. And follow her, obviously.
And
this everyone, you'll know her anyways. You'll know who she is anyway. So,
love you, babe.
Very, very cool. What are you healing through right now?
Definitely something that's really like deep within my heart is finding a partner that will be able to hold my woo-woo weirdness and my 10-minute light language orgasms that happen every time I orgasm. Yes, babe.
Tell me.
I don't have a normal orgasm anymore. It's like the frequency and the activations are like eyes will roll to the back of my head. Literally, guys, you can have this visual. You're welcome. Yeah. Eyes will roll to the back of my head. My whole body shakes. Wow. Like full Kundalini, light language, mixed, combined. The frequency of an orgasm for me runs...
Very sex magic as well.
It's very sex magic,
manifesting.
Totally. It just like the frequency that my body can get to now because I hold so much light all the time is like it's just so intense. So I really am calling in a king that can...
Any kings watching this?
Any kings watching this? Hello. That can hold me as I do go through this transition of being innately famous that I desire to be. I desire to be famous. I desire to be on big stages. I desire to be on big podcasts. Like I desire in the next 5 years to be world class at this. And really build my community globally. And so I think what I'm really healing through is my masculine wounding that I've had in the past. And so even like our friendship, our friendship's so deep. Like you always call me.
We've met each other like 3-4 times, and it's just that beautiful, just openness and love for each other. So
it's just like soul recognition too, though, right? Like there's no words to compartmentalize how our bodies feel when we're together. Of just like knowing, like I feel like I've known you forever. We can just hang out, And there's just this depth, right? And it's by you and my other beautiful friends, my other beautiful guy mates that are like that as well. It's like I can actually really trust the masculine again, and it's something that I haven't really been open to this year because I've been really focused on my business and growing my business, and I've definitely put relationships on the back burner of like, I don't want a relationship. I don't need a man. Like I've got this independent woman. Yeah, and I have been in my masculine, like grinding the mission, and over the last couple of months, really integrating my beautiful feminine essence. I am like, awesome. I can definitely call that in, and I am healing. I am healing the masculine wound, and whenever that is meant to be in perfect alignment, I totally trust, and I'm open to this now. We're really in the last last year, I haven't been open to even having a partner. Like the idea of even a guy taking me on a date, I'm like, I have no time for you, my friend. Goodbye. Yeah. So now I've over the course of the weekend, over the 3 days, one of the things that dropped through, which you got to witness me in, is me actually saying I'm ready for a partner, which feels really big, and also feels really right. So it's very exciting.
Maybe an extension on that question is you mentioned the word the feminine and the masculine a couple of times throughout this, and it's not my area of genius. That's why I want your thoughts on it. But I see globally we have this just conflicting sort of views and my microphone just all over, but just conflicting ways people live life and contradict each other from the masculine to the feminine. So it's like the extreme is your Andrew Tate, where it's like super, like let's not go down that rabbit hole, but I get you. But then you get the compensation for that, where you get these very strong women come into their masculine, But then that can also take it too far where it's like they've lost touch with their feminine.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know for you in your healing journey, it's again, it might be a similar answer or maybe something different. What's it been like for you for someone who is a driven woman who does play in her masculine a lot, but to also balance that to be able to surrender and actually let go and put the walls down and actually lean into the feminine and put the walls down, because this is not all the time, but the masculine is your protection. That's like, I don't want this hurt girl to get hurt again, so I'm going to put the fucking walls up. I'm going to show you how fucking tough I am, motherfucker. Where that little girl, that just perpetuates the hurt girl and never lets the hurt girl heal, which is your sort of access to that true essence of the feminine. What's it been like for you? Because you're a high achiever. You're very good at what you do. You've got that masculine side to you, and you said you're healing through that. Just for other women boss bitches who are watching this, other queens that are watching this right now, I see you. I love you.
I love you. Yeah.
But yeah, what would you say to those other queens who don't? Not that you can have to stop doing your mission. It's that you don't just have to keep doing the mission, and you're actually okay to flow. It's okay to let it down, to let go, or whatever words you want to be. Any advice on that?
Yeah, thank you. So what I would say is I've gotten myself into a really, really beautiful like routine of my morning. Yep. My morning's very feminine. And then when I'm in business, I really truly am in my masculine by driving the business. And I don't think this is a thing. For such a long time I was shaming myself for being too... firstly, it was like arrogance. I was like, I'm so masculine. And then I was like, oh my God, everyone on social media is talking about feminine and masculine. I should be more feminine. Yeah. Right? So then I started like shaming myself for being feminine. And so it was like this fucking thing that I had to integrate. And what it was a decision and a choice to be like, right, where am I choosing to be masculine? Where am I choosing to be feminine? And how can I choose to just flow and use that as a main source of how I do things? So then I started being like, okay, cool. What do I desire? So I started using the word desire. And so I went from using the word like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this, I'm fucking doing this, I'm smashing this, I'm fucking doing this. And then I started using the word desire. And all I did was I wrote down the word desire and I just had it on my desk. So I just started to just gently, when I saw myself go there, I'd be like, okay, take a big deep breath in, just hold my heart space and just be like, what do I desire in this moment? And if I came from a space of desire and I came from a place of openness and I came from a place of vulnerability and love in this moment, what do I desire? And so then I started living my life from desire. And that was when I started to become more magnetizing. And that's the feminine essence, right? That's the queen. The queen sits in her chair and she has the men come to her and she has the people just flow to her. And it is true. Like all of my clients message me. I never DM people and they just literally message me being like, I'm all in that. How can I work with you? Love it. And it's this magnetism energy that I cultivated just based on changing one piece, which was the language of desire. So what do I desire in this moment? How do I desire?
What do you desire right now?
What do I desire right now? I desire deeply a Lamborghini.
What color?
Orange for my branding, guys. Beautiful. So I'm test driving a Lamborghini on Monday. So excited. It's all I can think about. It's like such a wild thing to think about. I really desire that. Yeah. And then also what I deeply desire is the transformation of the light codes, because this is the first time I'm running the light code. So I'm thinking about it a lot. I'm writing little notes for myself. I've started working on the slides. Like, I love it. You get it. You're in in creation of something you love.
I just drove my dad to the airport this morning, and on the way home, I didn't play any music or any podcast. I never listen to music anyways, but I normally have a podcast on. I just had silence on, and I was like mentally rehearsing the whole event. It's like how to bring it in, how to center the room, take a breath work, visualization, vulnerability, and all that stuff. So I feel you.
So you get it. Yeah. It's honestly, it's like my baby's being birthed on the 18th, 19th, 20th of January. So what I'm like deeply desiring is just like that everyone has the big breakthroughs and the transformations, and I'm starting to even work with people's higher selves now just to get the right energetics of, and like every little piece of how I want it to flow, I trust that it will, but it's just like the desire is like, I really strongly desire for that to happen. And then the third thing that I'm really desiring at the moment is, calling in this beautiful partner that I can, have some awesome holidays with next year and be held in deep intimacy and have a really cool experience next year, which is cool. So just circling back to to the desire thing. Queens, are the queens listening, is really talking about what you desire and bringing it into your reality. And not only bringing it into your reality, but when you speak to other people, actually saying the words, I desire to have dinner with you. I desire to speak with you. I desire to get to know you. I desire to, and the more you desire, the more you, you just open up your heart space to generate more flow and more love. And then the second thing what I did was for the first maybe half of the year, my morning routine was so hardcore masculine. Yeah. So my morning routine was masculine, so rigid. Yeah. My work was so rigid, and I was, doing like fucking 12, 15-hour days some days. Of just like working consistently, grinding. And then when I moved houses, I was like, okay, I'm moving house. I live now by the beach. I have a 3-bedroom house by the beach. I have openness. I have spaciousness. So I desire to have more of a flow. And so I stopped setting an alarm to wake up to. My body naturally wakes up at 4:30, 5:30, 6 p.m. latest if I'm tired, right, for a sleep in. So I knew that I don't start clients till, on a rare occasion when I start a client at 7 a.m, maybe very rare occasion, I'll set an alarm. However, what I started to do was I started to just flow in the mornings. So I'd wake up whenever I wake up, and if I wanted to, my non-negotiables are I meditate and I go to the beach. Yeah. So some days I want to meditate in my bed. Some days I want to meditate where I have a beautiful plant and a beautiful yoga mat and stuff outside my house. Other days I want to go to the beach, and then I want to meditate. So I just, opposed to it being a rigid morning routine, I just started flowing. So I woke up and I was like, what do I desire today? Okay, I desire to go right to the beach right now. And my little dog's looking at me like, take me to the beach, right? I'm like, all right. So I go to the beach and I walk at the beach for half an hour. And then I'm like, I want to get a juice on the way home. Great. I desire to get a juice, so I'll get a juice. Or I desire to get a smoothie today. I'll go and get a smoothie. Or I desire to go home and actually make myself a smoothie. Or I desire to go home and cook myself breakfast. Like, I just started to, and it also was something as well that I was journeying, was I loved structure and certainty so much, like control. And that's also the masculine, right? And I was like, I have to know what I'm doing tomorrow morning. I have to know. But have to was coming from a place of scarcity. Yeah. So what I started doing was I woke up in the morning and I was like, I'm uncertain today. Great. What do I feel like doing? What does my feminine feel like doing? And I started saying to myself, like, okay, feminine essence, what do you want to do today? What do I desire to do today?
This is gold. This is so good.
So it was just this difference in embodiment of letting my feminine lead me. And then also one thing that I started doing, which was I learned this from a mentor of mine who's really in her feminine essence, and she's fucking successful. Like, she only works a couple of hours a week, makes $1 million a year, and really values time in her essence. And she just said to me, just sit in silence and just ask the feminine to come and hold you. So queens, you can go and do this. You just literally just sit down, and all I do is I just set the intention for the feminine essence. So I set the intention for the feminine essence to come and hold me, and I would just come and feel energy just like come and like wrap around me. And then what I started visualizing was like almost as if you could visualize like a tree feminine being come and wrap herself around me and just hold me, and just like the roots would just go all the way into the earth, and I'd just be really supported and really held. And and like and in that it was this beautiful holding. And so the more I felt held by the feminine, the more it would integrate, and the more I just ended up flowing. And so now I'm really claiming the fact that I'm a feminine embodied leader as well, which is just a big thing that I journeyed over the weekend of just like, that's a claiming. And women as well, you know, we're here to claim our essence. We're here to claim our being. We're here to claim our soul gifts. We're here to claim who we are. And it's a claiming of, actually, this is who I am. And I think that is also the feminine piece that really dropped in for me.
Very powerful, mate. We could speak for hours.
I know.
I think I've done 3 of my 10. So shorter answer on this one, because then we'll wrap up. But what do you talk about? Sorry, what do you think about a lot, but you don't get to express and talk about a lot?
That's a really fucking good question. I actually think about a lot reading more books.
Beautiful.
I think about reading more books and learning more quotes, and I never get to do that because I prioritize my time elsewhere. And next year, my goal and my priority will be around reading more books and learning more quotes.
You desire to do that.
I desire.
There we go.
Yeah.
If you could only leave 3 lessons behind,
Okay.
what are they?
One would be to ignite the power that you truly have from within you and journey that deeply. However that looks for you. Find your innate power that you have within you, because where you think your potential is right now, I bet you could go further.
Love.
So first things first, power,
Beautiful.
journeying that. The second thing is, when you come online to who you truly are, like your authenticity and your weirdness, and owning and claiming your weirdness or your whatever behavior you have that is strange, or you feel it is strange, when you own that, there is this undeniable power and love for yourself that you will find. And I've really loved journeying that for myself. And then the third thing is, allow yourself to dream bigger than you currently are. Because you never know what you truly desire until you actually start asking yourself the question, what do I truly desire? What do I want to create? What do I want to become? Who do I want to become? What am I meant to be doing on this earth? And so the who, what, where, when, how questions journey that deeper.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
What a conversation. I think there may be some follow-ups to this.
Yes.
I think there will be.
Yeah,
especially when you're so famous as well.
Yeah, thanks, babe.
And you can take me for a ride in your Lamborghini as well. Yeah. So for people that want to connect, plug in, attend your events, attend your services, just be in your essence of Natalie.
Yeah.
Where can they find you?
Thank you. So it's just Natalie Paterson with 1 T, coaching on Instagram, TikTok, Natalie Paterson on Facebook. And also my website is I've not said www.nataliepatterson.com.au.
It blew my mind. This is such a weird one. A W is double U's.
Oh my God, I've never heard that.
2 U's put together makes a double U. Anyways, let's drop it on there. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. For anyone that's listened, Kings, Queens.
Kings, Queens, yes.
Share this around. Connect with Nat. She's an absolute vibe. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you.